Hello, Ottawans and Ottawans from around the globe. Have you ever been playing CK3 and wanted to revive Hellenism? But you go and take a look and it's like 30,000 Piety. So you go ahead, you grab your Norsemen, and you get ready to execute half of the Northern Hemisphere. And that's what I was getting ready to do. But in this video, I figured out a way to reduce the cost to 250 Piety. Because when my original plan doesn't work out, I pivot and am able to massively abuse the new mechanics. And if you're sitting there thinking, how the heck did he do that? Well, buckle up, strap in, and get ready, because this episode is gonna knock your socks off. Okay, and for this game, I'm gonna pick good old Sigurd's Snake in the Eye. Well, the first thing I'm gonna do is try and take the Isle of Man from my brother, Jarl Ivar. The reason I'm not playing as him is he's already pretty old. And then execute the decision to elevate Kingdom of Man and the Isles. What that'll do is give me a ton of renown, and I'm gonna use that renown and make my way up to Strange Gods, where I'll get a minus 50% to my faith conversion cost. The other thing I'm gonna do is go down the learning tree and pick up Apostate, which will give me a minus 75% to my faith conversion cost. So for my first life, I'm just gonna try and set myself up, and for my next life, I'm actually going to try the conversion. And hopefully, when all is said and done, we'll have the 34,644 Piety we need to change religion. So first thing is first, let's go ahead and declare war for the Isle of Man. And I almost totally forgot. One of the most important first steps we absolutely need to take is to alter our banner and house name. Now, this video all came about from a dream. I was at a rock concert, and on stage were all these religious figures. You had Buddha shredding guitar. You had Jesus on bass, the lead vocals. And playing the drums, none other than Zeus himself. And after the show, Zeus comes down to me personally and hands me a strange metal disc. And I took it and held it in my hands, and I knew I had to revive Hellenism. This was a symbol from the gods. Boo! So here's our fine banner commemorating our symbol from the gods. Perfect. So having said that, let's get back to it. I'm going to use any prestige I currently have to call my allies to war and secure a victory. Cool, and after just a little while of trading counties, we finally got a 100% war score in this one, so we can enforce the demands. Woohoo! Now the other thing I absolutely have to do is hire a personal champion. Somebody to make me some prestige on a monthly basis, make sure my dread is just up there, and can take my place for some duels.
He's weak. He can't protect himself.
I also want to be hiring one of these antiquarians. The reason being is that'll allow me to commission some artifacts, and hopefully those artifacts can give me boosts to my prestige. To find the best one possible, what I'll do is go over to my champions, find one who's not married currently. So this gentleman here is not married. I'm going to find the smartest person I possibly can and invite them to our court by way of marriage. Now you can see if I go over here and try to grab an antiquarian, she has at least an average aptitude because she's so smart. So I'll appoint her as my antiquarian. And now I have the decision to commission an artifact. I'm going to start with a weapon and slowly make my way down. I'm also going to be raising a runestone whenever I can to convert my gold into prestige. Oh, and she produced a fine battle axe. That gives us a boost to our prowess and knight effectiveness. So I'll equip this one. That was okay, but I'm going to try and get another one as soon as I can because I'm hoping to have some equipment that will increase my prestige. The more prestige you acquire, the more fame you acquire, and we need to become a living legend in order to raise the Kingdom of Man and the Isles in this lifetime. It's usually a pretty tall order, and I'm not sure I'm going to be able to pull it off just yet. I'm going to have my sons educated, and the way I'm going to do it is find somebody that is not of my religion. For example, my wife here can convert this son to a different faith, so I'll have her do that. Similarly, this Anglo-Saxon woman can convert the faith of my other son. This is going to be a little bit cheeky, but I'll explain why in just a little bit. Okay, so I just noticed that Montague kind of opened up here. They only have 390 dudes.
This guy fell off.
So we'll declare war on them, specifically for the county of Montague. We're going to use this essentially as a stepping stone down here to the Sardinian Sea. All part of our evil plan to become super rich. And again, our allies are calling us to war. We have no choice but to accept, or else we lose a ton of fame, so I'll accept. I'm also going to spend some gold upgrading my buildings internally to increase my monthly prestige gain. So my son here was just converted to Catholicism by his mentor. This is going to be incredibly important coming up. Awesome. So after taking the capital, we now have a 100% war score against Montague, so we can enforce those demands. And all we needed Montague for was a stepping stone so that our diplomatic visibility reached all the way down here to Majorca. So I'm going to conquer this county right here. Okay, and we've won our war against Majorca, so I can go ahead and enforce these demands down here. And we basically don't need Montague anymore. So what I'll do is essentially just surrender this territory. I really don't care about it. Now, why we took land down here is critically important. We have just set up cyclical raiding. Take a look. Up here, we'll be able to raid all along the coast. Once this is all raided, then we can move our troops over to the Isle of Man and raid all of Ireland, potentially Wales, and Cornwall, Wessex, and Mercia if they're feeling weak. And then what we can do is leverage our new foothold down here in Majorca to raid not only Hispania once they break up, but we can also raid all these small counties that have many valuable hostages within. And by the time we're done that, Scandinavia should have had time to recuperate, so we can head on up there and start the whole process over again. So when raiding, the most important thing to understand is you don't make your money by raiding every temple, city, and holding. You make your money by raiding the capitals. For example, if I raid this capital here, I'll make 17 gold. But I don't only get the gold, I'm likely to pick up a valuable hostage, which I can then ransom away for additional gold. So we're about 50 years old. I want to plan it so that when I die in about 15 years, I'm playing as an heir that's roughly 10 to 15 years old at the time. So it's going to be critical I have a really good kid about now and then plan my succession to play as that son. So I'm going to hire a local artisan to make me another artifact. So for $100, she can make me some armor. Okay, so now she's offering, if she takes back that battle axe, she says the armor she'll make me will be of better quality. So I'm going to trade that in every time. And we almost have whole of body. We just need one more perk to make it there. Awesome. Okay, so the inspiration has been realized and she's produced us this armor, which gives us plus 0.2 prestige per month, increased prowess, and reduces our friendly casualties.
Wow.
So I'm just going to go ahead and apply that armor and get our boost to our prestige. Now, are you even playing CK3 if you're not raiding the Pope? Look how scared he is. Oh my god.
No, please. Dude, don't hurt me.
We might as well knock their army out while we're here. Woo! And just from that battle, we got 1,141 prestige. Oh my gosh, that's fantastic. And we've hit the midpoint of the video. Ottawans and Ottawans from around the globe, let me tell you something. This video is sponsored by Raiding the Pope. There's no way I have enough subs for that. Now, for every like we get on this video, I promise you, I will raid the Pope at least one time. Now, we're not talking just going and taking a few things. I'm here to completely burn Rome to the ground. I'm talking pillaging. I'm talking capturing people and bringing them home. And all you need to make that happen is a quick like on the video, and if you're feeling fancy, a beautiful sub. Thanks so much, and back to the video. Perfect, and now we can pick up whole of body, so I expect to be living a little bit longer. So we're currently 58 years old and we are still decently far from a living legend. And that's essentially the only thing stopping us from raising the Isle of Man. Okay, so I think I'm going to be a little cheeky. I'm going to declare war against Wessex for the Duchy of Weiss. We don't have as many troops as them, but what we can do is just use one of our daughters and pick up an alliance here. Apparently this Khazarian leader is Norse, so we'll send him off a nice marriage request. This is actually critically important. We just became the dynasty head of our dynasty, and what we're gonna do is just start disinheriting left, right, and center now. And it's all part of the plan, just remember. Cool, so after trading some territory back and forth, we've won this war against Wessex, perfect, and with that, we acquired this barony of Salisbury that in it has Stonehenge, a building which causes your faith conversion cost to be reduced by 20%. That's awesome. Okay, so I'm raiding the Pope again in hopes that we win a huge battle here and get a lot of prestige. Yeah, 582 prestige from that. That's pretty good.
Hey.
Okay, I really need to get this prestige game going before I die. I'm gonna try and just conquer all of Ireland, and then I don't even care what I do with it. I'll grant it away later. It really doesn't bother me. Let's just declare war literally everywhere, and this has gotten me in trouble in the past. And look, these guys keep just running their troops into us, and every time we're getting fame, albeit some of it's less than others, but we're still just getting fame as they run their troops into us. Now down here, we can also enforce the demands for our first war and then move on to the second one. All right, and this should do it for Thormund. Awesome, we can enforce that one as well. And each one of these battles we're winning keeps... Oh my gosh, and we seized an artifact, the Stone of Scone. Wow. And this gives us boosts to our prestige, renown, vassal limit, court grandeur, spearman maintenance. All right, and we've won this war here in Ireland, our last one of the 5 or 6 we had declared. So it's become painfully obvious to me that I will not be able to make a living legend before I die. There's just too much to be done. There's no way I'm gonna amass 3,000 fame. I'm 71 years old, like, it's just not gonna happen. So what I absolutely need to do before I die is diverge my culture here. So I'm going to pick up the spiritual ethos, and for traditions, I'm going to swap out 2. I'm going to swap out Ting Meat, which really should be called Meat Ting. I'll swap that one out for Sacred Hunters. Now, the other one that's going to be incredibly important is this one, Religion Blending. So you can see it currently costs 5,000 because I do not have at least 5 vassals of my culture and a different faith. We'll take a look at this. I'm going to go down to the character finder down here, search for people of my culture, but not Asa True. The first person on this list is my son and my vassal. Second person, same thing, my son and my vassal. Now just remember, we had these people educated so that they would convert religion, but not culture. Now we have this guy who is our vassal. Down here, this guy is a barony holder, so he doesn't count. We'll give him a full county to play with. Oh, look at our grandson down here. Let's grant him away all these titles. All right. And you can see religion blending is now only 2,000 piety. That is sweet. So for a total of 5,000 piety, we'll be able to reform our culture to one that'll propel our religion game to the next level. Our first innovation, Malleable Invaders, give us a minus 20% to faith conversion costs. Religious Blending gives us a minus 20% to faith conversion costs as well. And finally, Sacred Hunts gives us additional piety for calling hunts. Now we can just diverge this culture.
Wow.
We can also pick up a new legacy. We're gonna make our way up to Strange Gods now. It would also behoove us to try and create the title of the Kingdom of Ireland. So I'm gonna declare war against Meath here to grab more titles and hopefully be able to do that. All right, so we've got enough titles now. We can go ahead and create the Kingdom of Ireland and put ourselves at a kingdom tier. We can also make the Duchy of Munster and the Duchy of Connacht. All right, so we are crazy old and we are about to die. How do I know that, you might ask? Well, this guy looks terrible. Look at him. So the last thing we're gonna do, or one of the last things, is revoke this title down here. The reason we're going to do that is because this title has Stonehenge, which reduces the faith conversion cost by 20%. Naturally, they'll rise up with the rest of our vassals, and we'll have to put them down. And I'm just going to call a couple of my allies to war here. All right, so we'll be dead within 1 year, so it's incredibly important we finish this up ASAP. All right, and we've hit 100% war score in this, so we can enforce the demands. For this guy, we're actually going to revoke his title. This is now ours. Actually, do we even need to do that? Oh yeah, we can't reset our perks. If we had apostate, we probably could have done it in this lifetime. Okay, we have died finally, and we're gonna play as our son. Perfect. So this should be pretty quick. I'm gonna go up the learning tree, and I'll head right on up to apostate, which reduces the faith conversion cost by 75%.
A few moments later.
All right, and time has passed, so we can pick up apostate now. Okay, and it would appear Kent down here has declared war for this county. It looks like it's actually a holy war. Actually, it's fantastic news for us. If we go over and try to convert our faith now, it's only going to cost us 250 piety. Let's take a quick look as to why. Because we have such high learning, it decreases the cost. Because our faith is currently pluralist, that decreases the cost too. We're defending in that holy war against Kent, so that's a minus 50%. We have the apostate learning lifestyle. We have malleable invaders as our cultural tradition. We have religion blending as our cultural tradition. And we have Stonehenge giving us a minus 20%. All in all, this costs us 250 piety. All right, and all we have to do is slap this button here and we will convert to Hellenism. Glory to Zeus. Well, that wraps up this episode, friends. Now that you know this strategy, if you think you can do it faster or have a better way of doing it, hit me up in the comments. I'd love to know. I need to give a huge shout out to them on my Discord and my first channel member. And if you're bored and don't know what to watch next, take a look on screen right now. There's a great video I know you're gonna love. And if I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening.